thanks for your availability and congratulations for your debut, Caveman Logic. Firstly, although you are very well known, can you present the band to the Portuguese rockers?
The band is Bobby Liebling, singer, Sonny Vincent, guitar player, Hugo Conum, guitar, Juan Pedro Ventura, drums, and the illustrious Jimmy Recca on bass.
Okay, as I said, all of you are experienced musicians with a rich past in other bands. What motivated you to start this new project?
Go ahead.
You want me to say?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're allowed to speak now.
Cool. Me and Bobby had a mutual friend. Bobby and I didn't know each other, and this friend of Bobby's, he was driving a tour bus for me for a couple of tours, and he knew Bobby for some years, many years, and he played my music for Bobby. Bobby gave me a call on the phone, and we were just talking and hit it off really good. Had a lot of crazy jokes and a lot of good times on the phone. And then we got serious and decided to make an album. The album wound up being recorded in Portugal. At first it was supposed to be in the DC area, but that fell through. That didn't work. So I had a connection to Hugo in Algarve, and it went from there. Once the DC studio fell through, Hugo said, well, why don't you guys come to Portugal to record the album? So that's how we all got together. I knew Hugo before, and we invited Jimmy to play bass on the album. He was pretty psyched to do that. Before we went to Portugal, everybody had rough structures of the songs that I sent to everybody. Bobby was writing lyrics, so all in all, me and Bobby wrote most of the songs on the album. Him and Hugo wrote 2 of the songs, and we got together and did it.
On a prayer.
So you are... sorry?
I said on a prayer. We pulled it off. It was a very short recording time that we had. We didn't have a long session, a bunch of sessions, stretched out. It was very concentrated into a small period of time.
So you already knew those 2 Portuguese musicians, including the band, and they were kind of the core to the beginning of the Limit.
I knew Hugo, and Hugo sent me some examples of different drummers that he knew in Portugal. So in the end, we chose Joan, and so yeah, I mean, I had already written the songs and sent them to Hugo, the structures of the songs, and Hugo and Joan were working on them in Portugal, and Jimmy was practicing the songs in Philadelphia. Like I said, Bobby was writing the lyrics, so eventually it turned out that me and Bobby wrote about 7 or 8 songs together, and we went to Portugal and made the album.
As a band name, The Limit, what does it mean, and how did the name appear?
I was going to use a name some years earlier and kind of just kept the name under my hat. I mean, not that it's some kind of rare oddball name, but it was good to use a name that was kind of extreme, and doing the project was kind of a loosely based punk rock fusion, punk and hard rock fusion, and wanted to just take it to extreme, which is the limit. And we went over a lot of names first, and
we went over a lot of names. In fact, we all were submitting lists of different names, and I was starting to I was reading them, and I was getting suicidal. It was like the brass insects, the milk lovers. It was just fucking incredibly bad names. So when Bobby came up with the limit, I said, okay, let's go with that. And everybody was agreed to it finally, so we could have been called, the telephone booth massage artists, but instead, you know, we were called The Limit.
It was a good name as well.
Yeah, well, we wanted something also, thank you, that was like kind of really bold and stand out, but simple, not this long drawn out, you know, explanation of a name type of thing. And people can read into it what they want, you know. The limit's what you make it, right?
Yeah. So this wasn't a project created by the pandemic?
No, we did it before the pandemic, although we recorded it in Algarve, and when we were done doing all the tracks, we all went home to recover from the experience of recording there. The logistics and what we had to go through every day was really a bit tough on us, and so we got home, and the music went well. Everything went well, and you know, we were totally in love with, you know, Hugo and Juan. That went well, but me and Bobby and Jimmy weren't getting along all that well, and we did eventually find our way, but it was hell at first. But we got home, and the plan was that I was going to fly back to Lisbon and Lisboa and do the mix with our engineer Paulo Vieira, and so I had my ticket booked, and that's when the pandemic hit. So we had to learn how to do the mix remote, which was very, very difficult, because what you can do in person, sitting at a mixing board, you just push, you want something a little bit louder, you push it forward, you know, you make it a little bit louder. Explaining it on the internet, can you make this a little bit louder? And then another email, no, that's too loud. And then back and forth. But so with a bunch of months of working during the pandemic, we got the mix done. We added some of my friends from Germany and England on extra little guitar parts, and we did soldier through and came up with it. And it was all just kind of good luck. You know, the fact that I didn't go to Portugal made it so I invited a couple of other guitar players who knew how to, you know, send the parts through email, you know, like by transferring. Yeah. So we wound up having an album that had, like, you know, hard rock with a kind of a punk attitude with some little bit of Stardust, some kind of flash from some of our guitar guys. So that made it fun. And yeah, the pandemic, you know, really sucked and it got in our way. But in the end, in a way, it did help in a kind of roundabout way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Was that the only part of the work, the mixing, was that the only part of the work that was done remotely?
Well, all the guitar overdubs had to be, in quotes, flown in, you know, by remote, like the lead guitar overdubs.
So yeah, well, not all of them, but
most.
The basic tracks, like all of my guitar stuff, the drums, the bass, Bobby's voice, all the songs were recorded in Algarve. But then the mix and the little final guitar fills and final touches were done remote.
Okay. Your debut name, as I already told, is Caveman Logic. Why did you choose it? What are the messages you're trying to send? If there is any message.
That was I kind of like had the picture, like I've been in the music business a long time, and I've always kind of stuck to a certain type of taste and certain approach to it, and I'm not necessarily of all the new technology and that kind of stuff. And I did an album some years ago where I had said, out of time ain't worth a dime, stuck in the twilight zone. It sort of reflects off of that, whereas Caveman Logic's like keeping it simple, straightforward, very basic. And I'm sort of a dinosaur when it comes to being in a time warp. I am not about all the let's have so much advanced technology that we run away with things, you know, keeping things basic.
Okay.
So the song says, you know, frozen in time ain't a capital crime.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So this album was released by Svart Records. How did this connection happen?
When we finished the album, we we were thinking about, well, we got to, ask a record company to put it out. And so Hugo contacted Svart, and he started talking to Svart. And then our friend Pellet kind of helped a little bit with, talking about the contract. And in the end, once everything was settled, then, the band dealt directly with Svart. And, we were very happy because we got a really cool contract. They're really cool people to work with. And, they do what they say and they say what they do. And, we were thinking we're on our way. So we're very happy to get the album released with Svart.
Yeah, and also, especially during the pandemic, because we knew that things would not be, on the normal vein, and that we have to do it a little differently as far as groups are not as akin to getting signed during the pandemic. Obviously, companies and places are going under and businesses are having a hard time and so forth. So we knew it might be a little difficult doing that way. And so when we approached them, they were very accepting, very receptive towards the whole thing. It made us really, happy about that kind of thing. Get a good contract during this, during all this crap that's going on. Not the normal.
Yeah, but with you guys, it must haven't been very difficult to have that to have a good contract, because you are all very well known throughout the world. So.
Yeah,
well, we have backgrounds that we come from, but nevertheless, during this kind of time period when things are going on, you're not as likely to get signed for all these things as you would have normally. It's not as easy for a company to invest in you.
Yeah. So is this one album project, or do you have ideas to keep going on in the future?
Well, we definitely are all eager to make another album, because we learned a lot about the logistics, and so we would basically repeat the process of making this first album. We would do it again in Portugal, but this time we would have things a little bit more planned out in terms of the logistics. And when we were listening to the rough mixes, we did start saying, wow, it would be cool to play these songs in front of people. And when we heard the final, the album, we were going, dang, this would be awesome to play in front of an audience. But right now we're stuck in the pandemic, so, we don't know if we're going to be turning into Morlocks underground for the next 20 years, or we're going to be playing shows. So we're hopeful. Bobby with his group Pentagram has some plans, and everybody has plans, but we just have to see. But definitely the limit is, like a tiger pulling on its chain, ready to do anything that's wild, but we got to see what happens,
Yeah. Kitty Gone and Bike C were the first two videos. Why did you choose them?
We didn't choose them. The record company did, and we agreed with them. We had to green light everything. I think there were good choices, and people responded well to the choices. But it was just with so many songs, different guys in the band with different opinions, we never could come to a consensus of what would be the best single and the first single. And so we just kind of rolled with what the label thought was cool.
Okay, as you already said, you are aiming to go back to the stage. Will there be a Portuguese tour, for example, as you have two Portuguese members?
Your guess is as good as ours. I mean, we can't, like Sonny mentioned, we can't say right now. I mean, we have no idea what's going to come in the world, in the next few months and the rest of this year. At least things are still temporary with everything, if you look around you. We really have no idea. We'd like, we've been approached, by places to do, this gigs or that gigs, tour a little bit maybe, but we really got to see. That's an unpredictable thing right now.
We definitely played one unannounced show. We drove from Algarve to Lisboa, and we played a show there just to work out some of the songs in front of a live audience before we recorded. So we got on stage, and I said to the audience, I go, well, it's not going to be like a Bruce Springsteen concert for 2 or 3 hours. It's not going to be Grateful Dead concert for like 12 years, growing old on stage. It's going to be pretty short, but we're happy to be here, and we're going to play some of our songs for you that we're going to record in a couple of days. And that was wild. We had a great time. And so we already did kind of one show, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, like the pandemic sucks. What can you do?
What about you with your other projects? What can we expect in the next months?
Bobby's got some reissues of Pentagram stuff coming out. I'll have something coming out like in some months for now, but we basically have been really focusing on the limit lately, so we can give it the most thunder as we can. But we've always got other things going on. But like I said, the limit sort of by we thought it would be good when we got these people together and made an album, but we didn't know it would capture a little bit of magic and that it would come out the way it did. We were very happy. So it does have a special place, in our
Yeah, it's our current thing for us, for all of us. It's what we're doing right now. Of course, we have other things. I got Pentagram tours coming up in the fall, and again, we don't know what is going to happen with the entire state of the world. I just heard that 3 days ago that France is in lockdown.
Yeah, complete lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, so who the hell knows? We'll have to see.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys. Do you want to send any message to your fans?
Well, you can go on Amazon now and grab the album, and I don't know. There's probably a couple of things that I would like to say, but you could probably write a book about one day that we had in Portugal. I will say that the lyrics are written by Bobby, and the thing I like about the lyrics is they're very autobiographical, and that makes it really nice for myself and other people to listen to. And but it's all in the music, so there's not much, talk is talk is cheap, so listen to the album and make your own judgment.
Yeah, it'll be out April 9th.
April 9th, yeah.
It's on LP, CD, and digitally, worldwide, on Svart. Hope everybody will dig it when it does come out complete full length.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, buddy.
Okay, thank you very much.